Yeah, pretty quick work, and like from obviously like studying Makhachev for our fight and that, like it's yeah, pretty similar. He'll draw out the clinch, like pretty defensively, pretty hard to hit guy. Like keeps his distance, but then once he is in range, he just goes right, tries to grab a hold of anything, overhook, underhook. He don't really care. And then yeah, his like ground sequence as well, just running through the same sequence. So same like system that Khabib uses. So it's kind of a case of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like it keeps working. Like there's no point in there's like no call to adjust it or anything like that.
Yeah, definitely. You're right. It's if it ain't broke, yeah, there's nothing to really fix. It's like finding the right. I don't know. I don't even know if it's a skill set, but maybe the game plan, right? The perfect, not perfect game plan, but the proper game plan to go in there and execute to defend against all of that. The overhooks, the underhooks, just the takedowns along the fence. Because when you really look at it, like, are they good? You think like Islam and Habib at takedowns in the open? You know what I mean? Like you don't really see that too much, right? Where they're shooting. When they do shoot, a lot of guys are pretty good at defending it in the middle of the cage. It's just along the fence, right?
Um, I would just say that in general. I wouldn't say that like Islam and Khabib are better at taking people down against the cage than out in the open. I think it just that's just general, right? Like people that's just general MMA and cage wrestling. Like they've spent less time. Like even these guys with wrestling backgrounds, they spend a lifetime wrestling out in the open. There's obviously no wall in like a collegiate wrestling match, so it's like a very new thing for these wrestlers to evolve to, and they've adjusted to it very well. Like a system of dragging someone down. It's just a lot more energy efficient and a lot safer to shoot against the cage or go for to really press a wrestling game against a cage is a lot less energy consuming than shooting a takedown out in the open. Like that's a lot of distance to cover, shooting there's like a lot of opportunities to run into guillotines and knees and all that kind of drama. So I feel like it's just more energy efficient, it's higher percentage, and that's just a general rule of thumb.
And when you look at Islam, you look at Habib, right? Very similar styles. But then when you look at like his cousins and other guys that coming out of Dagestan, other guys that are part of his team, they're not they're not efficient like them. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of a rarity to see that type of fighter, both those guys. Maybe it's because they've been training with each other since such a young age and just kind of drilling, and then they just get better off each other. I don't know. What do you think it is about those guys, compared to like let's say his cousins and other Nurmagomedovs?
Um, yeah, but the same can be said for like anywhere else in the world. Like speaking, I can't speak for his team. Like I can't say that I've particularly sat down and just studied like the whole Nurmagomedov family of how many of them are out there fighting in Bellator and all over the weight classes. So, but I can speak for myself and I can speak for my team in city kickboxing. Like, obviously, there's a like a set system that we use at city kickboxing, and we all understand this system. Like all of the guys fighting, um, myself, Brad, Bloods, Carlos, Izzy, like we all understand that system. Like that's been printed on us, but we all interpret it so many different ways. Like we get shown a new technique. Like all of our bodies are different, right? Like different reach. Like Kai's not going to do the same thing that I'm doing. Carlos is 6'9". Like he's not going to do the same thing. Like everyone, it's funny how fighters take things for themselves and interpret it themselves, and a lot goes into that. Obviously, your like physical attributes is like one aspect of it, but also like your personality. Like I feel like when you fight, a big part of that is going out there and showing your personality or showing who you truly are or truthfully are. So I feel like that's just part of it. So there's so many variables. So and I would say in terms of like Islam and Khabib that they just must be very similar people physically, but then again, very similar in their background and their system. And then they must be very similar people outside of the cage in like a personality wise, personality aspect, and kind of have the same goals. So I'd say that's why of anyone, like they're the most alike, I guess.
Yeah, and much credit to Islam, man. He's been killing it, man. He's executed exactly what he's planned on doing in every fight, and he's done it well. And man, it's just, where is he in the line to the title? That's the question. Because much credit to Bobby Green. He took this fight on 10 days notice, probably knew that, that it's going to be a tough task, not enough time to really prep at all. You know what I mean? Like, you need a full camp, right? You need a full camp with your team, with everything, lined up perfect, not perfectly, but everything lined up in your way, the way you want it to face a guy like this. And Bobby Green didn't really have that, and he went in there and did his best, you know what I mean, lost. Thank you guys for watching the video to the end. Make sure you guys subscribe, hit the like button and the notification bell so you don't miss any of the content that we're putting out. We got a lot of things in the works, so please stay tuned.